Hey y'all, and welcome back. Tonight we're making a recipe using some ground beef. Made beef burritos with some homemade sauce to go over it. And I thought I'd share it with y'all. It's quick, easy, and it's a way to use up some ground beef. Right now beef is so pricey, you have to pick and choose what you cook with it. So we're going to be making these burritos tonight using these flour tortilla shells to make it go further and stretch our dollar. So y'all come on and let's see how it turns out. Okay, y'all, the first thing you'll do is get your ground beef started, and I put my half an onion in it. Probably around 1/4 cup of an onion. And this is what we're going to be putting in it. We're going to stick to what we've got in our kitchen to try to save money. I'm going to use the seasonings that I already have, and we have these low-carb wraps. You can use corn tortillas or flour tortillas wraps, whichever you choose. I'm going to go ahead and get my ground beef brown with my onions cooked real tender, and then we're going to drain it. I have my strainer ready in this bowl over here. Look how much fat that beef puts off. So you want to drain that off. And once it drains, I'll just place it back in my iron skillet and we'll start our recipe. Now we're going to move that to the side. We're going to cut our stove on a low heat and start adding our other ingredients. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of beef broth to my beef mixture. And now I'm going to add some cumin, some salt, a little bit of black pepper, some garlic powder, about 1/2 teaspoon, some onion powder, this right here is sort of like we're making our own homemade taco seasoning without buying the packet. I'm using what I've got to make my taco meat taste just like the taco seasonings you would use in a packet. Now we're going to add a little paprika, and turmeric, or turmeric, whichever you call it. When you have a lot of seasonings saved up in a spice rack, you can do a lot with just plain ground beef. You can make your own special ingredients taste the way you want it to taste using your seasonings that you already have. Now I'm just going to add about 1/2 cup of mozzarella cheese to this mixture. Now this is not no set recipe. Whatever kind of cheese you got, you can use. This is just what I've got in the kitchen today, and this is what we're going to be using up to not have to go out and spend no money. Use what you got. That's what we say. I'm just going to let that sit there and simmer for a few minutes while we start on our sauce. For the sauce, you'll add 2 tablespoons of butter, and this is salted butter. And now we're going to let our butter start melting down. But don't let your butter burn. And now I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of flour. This will help you make it thick, sort of like making a gravy. Now we're just going to cook this flour down in our butter for around maybe 3 to 4 minutes, because you don't want your mixture to taste like flour. So make sure you cook that flour for just a few minutes to get that taste out of it so it won't be in your mixture. And now to that, I'm going to add 1.5 cups of beef broth. Now you can use chicken or beef or even vegetable broth. And now I'm going to get a half a cup of water and mix with my beef broth. And now to this, you'll just start mixing it good and get, if you had, until you get it to come to a boil. Just keep a close eye on it and don't let it burn. You're just going to be waiting till it starts to thicken up a little bit. But first, we're going to be adding a few other ingredients to this while it's coming to a boil and starting to thicken up. You can tell a difference in it already. It's barely started to thicken up. Just keep a close eye on it and don't let it burn or scorch in the bottom. Making your own sauces will help save money. You don't have to buy those enchilada sauces or those cheeses. You can sort of make it yourself. Now I'm going to add 1 drained can of chilies. We're going to add the whole can. And we're going to start mixing that in. And now I'm going to add a little black pepper to my sauce. I'm not going to add any more salt because I've already salted the meat, plus my butter is salted. So we're going to stick to this right here and see how it tastes once it starts thickening up. If it needs more salt, I'll add it, but I don't believe it will. And now once it starts to get a little thick, I'm going to add about a half a cup of Parmesan cheese and around probably about the same of my mozzarella to my sauce. And now we're just going to blend all our cheeses into our sauce. And boy, if y'all could smell what this smells like with those green chilies, this smells delicious. He thinks so too. He's hoping I'll drop something. And now I added about a half a teaspoon of paprika. We're just going to let that keep simmering. We're going to stir it up good. Watch it close till it gets ready. It's almost right where I want it. Okay, we've turned the heat down, and once it cools a little, I'm going to add around a half a cup of sour cream. And now we're just going to blend in that sour cream into our sauce. Okay, it's done. So now we're going to set this to the side. Look how pretty and creamy this is. It tastes delicious. I've already tried it. Now we're just going to spray this glass dish to put our burritos in. I'm using just this spray bottle with some olive oil. Now we separated our tortilla shells, so now we're just going to take our mixture, and I'm not going to put a lot because they're the small ones. Now you can use the bigger ones, but we're going to use the small ones. And we're just going to put them in there. Put our mixture in there, and I'm just going to roll it just like you would a burrito. Now they're not going to be that big, so Travis will probably have to have like maybe 2 or 3 of these because they're small. Let me get all these filled up. So this meal right here probably would cost you, with the ground beef, with the prices of ground beef right now up, you're probably looking at maybe the ground beef, a pound and maybe a pound and a half, and the shells, and your sauce that you made. You're probably looking at $15, just to tell you the truth. Maybe even a little bit more, but nowadays, that's almost around the cheapest you can feed your family with the prices as high as they are right now. Okay, so now we're going to take our tortilla burritos and we're going to pour our homemade mixture over them. We're just going to start at the front, and I'm going to pour this over all the burritos. Okay, I'm actually going to have a little bit left, I think. Let's see if I can get it to go down in there. In between. Oh yeah. Each burrito. Okay, we'll have just a tiny bit left, not a couple tablespoons. And now I'm going to take my cheese and I'm going to put just a tiny bit of cheese just to make it look pretty on top. Because we've already added a lot of cheese to the recipe. So if you're looking for an easy, fast recipe for your family, you might want to try these. That's all I'm going to put. Now we're going to put them in the oven on 350 until the cheese is melted and they get a little golden brown, probably around 30 minutes. I lost a little bit of my gravy. Okay, y'all, I hope you give these easy burritos with homemade sauce a try. And if you like our video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. And like always, thanks for watching.